stuff is silent.
And welcome back to another episode of Classified Lady. And y'all see her. She back out the gate, kicked the door in, and we're back with the Coach Renee Roberts. I'm Dr. Ace, the Global Mentor Coach, and I am excited to have another episode. This is going to be a juicy one.
Yes.
Today we're talking about grief and loss, and it's not going to be that kind of conversation that you think it's going to be. More up to the point, Black women, obviously, we are highlighting that on this show because we are Black women, and I'm always championing Black women health, overall wellness, and coming to a space of wholeness. I'm on my own journey here, and I'm bringing everyone else along with me.
Love it.
And so my good friend Renee Roberts has always championing with me. And so we're talking about grief and loss today. And one of the things that I really want everybody to understand today, and straight out the gate, is that we need to stop reducing grief and loss to just the death of a person.
Yes.
We recognize that is most of the time the only time that we really allow ourselves to grieve as Black women. And sometimes we don't even give ourselves space to do that because we're like, we don't have time. Like we give ourselves 2.5 seconds, maybe 3 days, maybe. And then we got to get up and go because baby need to put a new pair of shoes. We got to eat, we got to work, we got this, we got that. And we just
we gotta go fold some clothes.
Gotta go fold some clothes, baby. We got to cook because folk got to eat. Because ain't nobody got time for nobody being hangry around here. The bed got to get made. Gas got to be put in the car. Roof,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Rent got to be paid, so on and so forth. So we have so many things on our plate that we don't make time to grieve when someone passes away. But we're talking about death, period.
Right.
We're talking about what happens when there's a death in your finances. What happens when there's a death in your relationships? You know what I mean? Like there's life after divorce, right? What happens when, you know what I'm saying, you lose your job? Or you were supposed to get a promotion and you didn't get your promotion, or you were supposed to land a contract and that contract didn't come through. Like there's so many things that transpire in the course of our lives, right? What about old versions of ourselves?
Oh, that's a good one.
You know what I mean? Like we don't allow ourselves to grieve old versions of ourselves. Like on my health journey, I don't want the weight back.
Right.
Trust me, I don't want the weight back. I don't miss it. However, on this journey, you know, I've learned that I'm not the same person. I don't think the same way. I don't have the same, you know what I'm saying, way of doing things. And so I think that on this journey of always chasing the next version of ourselves or the next, we don't allow ourselves to want to celebrate the new or grieve the old. Because there are things about the old us that we still loved.
Absolutely.
It just didn't fit with where we're going,
doesn't align, right?
Now, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. You know, I think it's important for us as Black women to understand that when, you know, grief is a natural emotion, right? It's a natural response to loss. So when we inhibit ourselves, you know, from allowing what's natural to happen, we create bigger issues for ourselves. You know, I'm always telling clients, like, first thing is you have to become aware. I think you mentioned it when you first started. Aware that, hey, I just suffered loss and I need to give myself permission to grieve what I just lost. I don't care if it's your hair, like whatever you lose. If you know, you may have lost a friend, you know, you may, and like you said, Dr. H, like you said, it's not limited. We can't minimize it to death. You know, we have to embrace that loss is a part of life, but it doesn't feel good. Right. And if we as Black women, we don't stop and just really sit in those feelings, we're doing ourselves a disservice.
Yeah. I think that I think that what's challenging for Black women is, again, lack of space and opportunity for grieving, to feel what you feel, so you don't stay there, so it doesn't become a cancer to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because it manifests physically in your body. What you don't allow, what you hold in, does manifest physically in your body. Like, please go see the
Absolutely.
science. It's out there, right?
Absolutely.
So emotional weights become physical weights, and it weighs on your health. It weighs on your organs, and you feel it throughout your body. But I think the other thing is learning to make time, but
Mm-hmm.
also creating safe spaces where we can.
Mm.
I believe that one of the reasons why a lot more Black women don't work through loss is because obviously having space to do it, having time to do it, but feeling safe
To
to do
do it.
it. I
Mm-hmm.
think that sometimes we don't we don't grieve because of things people say
Mm.
that make us feel like it's wrong to grieve this person, place, thing, situation, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
now that seed is planted, and it's like, okay, I feel stupid
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
feeling the way that I feel about this. When
Yeah.
really, no, only you know what you're feeling. Only you know the attachment. Only you know an external person or whatever who is not experiencing or has not experienced that
Mm-hmm.
thing, that
Mm-hmm.
person, or whatever, speaking. Because a lot of times people speak idly or whatever, and they may have good intentions, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that their good intentions translate that way. Case in point, I've had people say, oh, you know what? Not even apologize for the loss, but they said, oh, that was selfish.
Make it make sense, please.
But seriously,
Wow.
literally said, oh, that was so selfish of them. Selfish. Oh, okay. Not sorry for your loss.
Right. Right.
Selfish, right?
Wow.
I've
Wow.
had others say, okay, grieve and move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And go on to make judgmental statements about the person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that hurt more because it's like, but you don't understand. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then when you have moments alone, because there is no time, this is the other thing, there's no time limit on grief
Mm-hmm.
and loss.
Right. There
And
is no timing. It's
And I
indefinite.
believe that's part of the other reason why we don't, because it's like we get hit, and don't be going through perimenopause and menopause when you're
Oh
emotionally going
God,
through, and then
no.
you get hit with a wave of grief
Right.
because of
Right.
life circumstances, and you're triggered, and you don't know why, because you haven't allowed yourself to feel what you feel here. And
Yeah.
so because
Yeah.
you haven't allowed yourself to feel what you feel here,
Yeah. I think,
it's you
yeah,
know,
I think what we don't realize is that we cannot heal what we won't feel.
woo child, not at all. That's good.
We can't not, we can't. If we're not gonna feel it, we will walk around in that space of grief
Mm-hmm.
forever.
Yeah.
And in addition to making
Mm.
space and making safe space, I'm realizing that culturally, we as Black women, we're modeling what we've seen for generations.
Mm-hmm.
And what we've seen for generations is what we considered the strong Black woman who
Mm-hmm.
stands under all kinds of pressure. So
Yeah.
a Black woman can lose her husband, but she still got to get up the next day and tend to her children and get to work, or she can lose a child and still have to keep functioning, so you're talking about grieving things that are not like, grieving hair or grief. Black women are like, look, through time, we've been dealing with things, or I should say, walking through
Yeah.
without dealing with things for
Yeah.
centuries. And so now tighten up, tighten
Yeah.
up. It's just hair. Get a wig. You know what I'm saying?
Right. There's an expectation on Black
Right.
women, especially that, oh, y'all will just get over it. You're resilient.
Yeah, get over.
And that,
You're resilient, but
yeah.
we didn't realize that that's been unhealthy for all the lifetime. That's
Again, the
not the
kryptonite.
way.
Strength is the kryptonite. Yeah.
Mm-mm,
Yeah.
mm-mm,
Yeah.
mm-mm.
Yeah.
Because when we don't, it starts, our bodies start responding. And I
Yeah.
tell clients all the time, I'm like, listen to your body first then. Since you don't psychologically see the need, let your, if you sit down and listen to your body, you'll understand why your stomach is upset. You'll understand why your head's hurting. You'll understand why you can't hardly breathe. That is your body's way of
Digestion
saying,
issues. Yeah,
I need to deal with this loss. Like, I am feeling feelings. And
yeah.
we don't like to sit in feelings as Black people.
No,
Black
because we've been told that uh, emotion has been weaponized against us. We've
Yes,
been told
yes,
that you
yes.
don't. It's just like men telling men to stop crying. Men don't cry.
Right,
What?
right, right. When it's a
Please give me
natural
all
emotion.
that. Give me an emotionally intelligent man. Let me say it like that.
Right,
Give me
please.
an emotionally intelligent man.
Please and thank you.
Give me all the emotional intelligence. Come on.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
sexy. That's attractive. Come on, bring that over here.
yes.
All of that macho, machismo stuff, leave that over there because that's toxic. And then you blow up, you might mess around and blow up and decide to hit on me. And now we both 6 feet under because I will see you
Exactly. Period.
in the graveyard
Yes,
because
like
I ain't going alone.
death for real. Yes, yes.
We're not doing that. You know what I'm
No.
saying? Bring me all the emotional intelligence.
Yes,
I'm not
please.
upset about that. Be emotionally intelligent. Teach me how to be more emotionally intelligent than I am right now. Come on, like let's have conversation. And I
Right.
think that that's again that's the I think that's where we are challenged as Black women sometimes because we're not allowed to feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or we feel as if we
Right.
can't feel
Mm-hmm.
because we haven't been allowed again for so long
Oh my
carrying the
God.
strength and being
Yes.
strong and being the backbone and mom and them. And then next time you're the mom and now we the aunties and now we getting then we going from being the auntie to big mama and
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I
We the
mean?
grandmamas now.
You know what
Right.
I'm
Right.
saying? And so it's like, okay, as time goes on and we step into these spaces and these roles, my question is what are we leaving behind to the next generation? Are we saying continue this or we're saying this is not healthy? I
Right.
want to show you another way.
Exactly. Exactly. And it begins with us taking the role of giving ourselves permission, so
Correct.
that the generations that are following us will say, oh, we normalize, oh, that's what we're supposed to do,
Correct.
not,
Yeah.
oh, that's weak, or you need to, no, like, that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Let's normalize grieving,
Yeah.
normalize it.
Yeah.
I grieve. I grieve. I encourage my clients to grieve. I feel it's so important because you cannot move forward, even emotionally, in
Mhm.
that space. So you have a lot of Black women. We carry, they say we carry it in our bosoms, but
Yeah.
we carry so much on
Yeah.
our backs, on our chests.
Mhm.
Give yourself permission, sis, to
Yeah.
just say, hey, I'm feeling some kind of way
Yeah.
about not getting that position.
Yeah.
I'm feeling some kind of way about my benefits being cut under
Yeah.
this administration. Like, whatever it is, just give yourself permission to feel it.
Yeah.
And it's not easy, but when you start surrounding yourself with other women that are doing the same thing, and
Yeah.
how right now it's big on the deconstruction, from religion.
Yeah.
I love that. But we also got to deconstruct on some ideologies that we've been engrafted with from
Oh yeah.
childhood
Yeah.
concerning grief.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think part of it is too. I didn't. I think part of it is cultural.
I was just, you
A
took the
big
word
part of it
right
is
out of my
cultural
mouth. Yes,
because
yes,
in many
yes,
ways we don't talk about this. We don't talk about that, or you don't allow you protect your kids. You don't let them see it. You
yeah,
don't let them see it. I think that what we
yeah.
need to start doing is showing children and the younger generations a healthy way to grieve and what that looks like,
Absolutely.
and talk about it. Right.
Yes, yes,
Um, I can tell you the first funeral I went to was my grandmother. We didn't do funerals. We didn't grow up going to funerals as kids, as little
yeah,
ones.
yeah,
Because first of all, and hit the logic about it, which makes sense, they don't understand what's going on anyway. So
yeah.
what are we
Why are we bringing them there?
why are we bringing them
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah,
this
my
space
mom was
when
the
they
same
don't
way.
know
Yeah.
what's going on? They don't understand why we're creating a trauma marker so early. So we
Mm-hmm.
did not. So I was in the third grade before I went to my first funeral.
Yeah, you were older than me.
That was, I mean, my mom was my mom.
Yeah,
So that was mother.
yeah,
So, and that whole, everything leading up to that, traumatic for me, obviously.
yeah, yeah,
And I remember bits and pieces. Even her funeral that day, I remember bits, but I remember telling Sean this because I was clinging to my dad so hard because
wow.
I didn't understand what all these people were like, just, when the
Just
family
the whole
marches in
setup of it. Yeah,
and
yeah.
the family march, and but see, in my grandmother's, there were people on both sides. So we
Dang.
walked through people.
Yeah. Sheesh.
And so it was just, for me, now my grandmother, closed casket, and the Bahamians didn't like that. So that was a
Yeah.
big issue there because why we can't see her and da da da. But that was my grandmother's wish.
Right.
Not, that was her wish, and her children was like, we gonna do what she. I remember my aunt freaking out. That also traumatized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was just different moments. Like even when they came and got us at school, and my mom, they picked us up, and I remember called them all in the internet. It's all this kind of stuff. I remember bits and pieces, but not everything.
Yeah.
So my first experience, I was in the third grade. We didn't, you know what I'm saying? And so I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in making the arrangements and doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that,
Yeah.
that we don't think about sitting children down and sitting down as a family and
Exactly.
having a conversation and explaining what happened, what this means, and so other than you're just not going to see grandma no more.
Right. Mm-mm.
You
Mm.
know what I mean? Like, or
Yeah.
trying to find the words or what, whatever the case may be, because we're just not, not something that we do,
Yeah.
rather than just sitting out and saying, okay, here's here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like there's
Yeah.
life, there's death, and there's, like your everything that lives, dies, so on and so forth, and learning to have those conversations. And the same thing, like even on my dad's side, when people pass away over there, there's different things, not having those types of healthy conversations
Mm-hmm.
around that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't have conversations around when people leave, how are
Right.
you going to have conversations around grieving? Well, you lost that race.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You're in the foot
Exactly.
race because I was always an
Yes.
active kid. I played
Yeah.
sports. I was a cheerleader. I played
Mm-hmm.
soccer. I, kickball, race, running track,
You
whatever.
name it. Yeah.
You name it. I was out there. If it was outside, I was outside. Baby, I
And
was
you
out.
still
I was
outside.
like, baby, I was. Yeah. And I like to cut it close, honey. I like to be cut it close, okay? But you know what I mean? I think that we need to create more safe spaces
Yeah.
to, and I love some, Sean did something when she was running the school. She
Mm-hmm.
said we create safe spaces for the children to fail,
Yeah. That's good. That's
and for
good.
them to experience rejection, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, this is part of life. They're
It's a
not always going to be
life.
number one.
Yes.
They're not
Yes.
always going to win.
Yes.
But how do you basically help them feel forward, right?
Yeah.
Feel what it feels like to lose,
Right.
because you win some, you lose some. But
Listen.
what is
Part
it?
of life.
What does that look like, and how do you deal with those emotions? How do you deal with it when you're not always number one, when you're not always first in class, you're not always best in show, right? And I think that that's what we need to do more of, create safe
Yeah.
spaces where we can come together as people. And it's never, to me, I don't feel like it's never too late. If people can earn college degrees at 80, 90 years old, you can learn something new. And so
Period.
I feel like this is an opportunity for us to create a safe space where we get to grieve. And it doesn't matter what it is you're grieving. I don't care
Yeah.
if it's, again, I lost a contract of $40,000. I lost this opportunity, or I was supposed to sign this contract, but it fell through because this administration canceled the grant. I lost my husband.
Yes.
I
And
lost
in
my
a
best
and
friend.
yes.
I
Yes.
lost, you know what I mean? Like I
Yes.
lost
Yeah.
finances. I lost my hair. I got diagnosed with cancer. I lost a body part, or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I got diabetes real bad, and I lost a toe, or whatever the case may be. Like there are, like you said, there's like my hair fell out from stress. I got seborrheic dermatitis, and I'm having flare ups, and now I
Yeah.
got alopecia, and I got
Yeah.
whatever is happening, right?
Whatever
And
the
like you
loss
said, if
is.
you
Yeah.
don't feel what you feel and work through those feelings.
Yeah. And although these are very empowering things for our Black community, our Black women to know, I think the difficulty falls under never really understanding how to approach or confront death,
Mm-hmm.
confront loss. Like, so
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people, not a lot. I'll say I've encountered various people that they are afraid of death.
Wow. I used to be
I did too until I had a
terrified,
listen. I
terrified,
didn't want
because
to.
I didn't understand it.
Right. So, but that's the key, Dr. H. Once you start understanding that death is a part of life,
Mm-hmm.
and you start teaching that to your children, you teach it to your nieces and nephews, you teach it to your grandchildren, they will grow up understanding like this death is a part of life. So now I can deal with how I feel about the loss or the death, right? But we're too afraid to even like, don't say, oh, don't say that, don't say that. We take that out the atmosphere. What do you mean? Like, we need to be talking about
It's part of
wills
life.
and estate planning and all these types of things and not being so afraid. After my grandmother passed, she was mom to me. So she passed in 2004. And I thought like life was
Came
over.
to an
Like
end.
that was it. Cause that was my first major death. And I
Yeah.
was what, 34 at the time or 24? I don't know, however old I was at that time. But I'm an adult. And so I'm just experiencing this type of death. I am wasted. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I'm feeling because once again, growing up in my household, now my grandfather has already passed. I've lost other cousins and things like that, but my family, it's just you never saw grieving. You
Yeah.
just saw, okay, you got to do this, got to get your dress, got to get your stockings, got like
You
we're
saw
on a mission.
crying, but you didn't see grieving. You saw crying.
Maybe in my family, maybe if they cried, they
Wow.
cried behind the scene. They want to
Yeah.
wait for the funeral day to cut a fool. That's what that was. But it's
That's the only time I saw crying at the funeral.
at the
I saw
funeral when
crying.
they done lost their
But leading up to it, after,
they
it's like business as usual.
right. So after my grandmother passed, and I'm the oldest grandchild. So, and at the time I was pastoring.
Yeah.
Of course, they're like, we want you to say something. And I'm like,
I don't know what to say.
how am I going to have anything? So, of course, going to your spirituality, oh God, give me the strength. And I got up there. I don't remember anything to this day of what I said. It had to be an out of body experience. But once I sat down and that funeral and everything was over, I looked at death so differently.
Yeah.
Not that I don't feel sad, but it's like it's expected now. Now I expect it. And not like I'm looking around like, oh, somebody's gonna die. But
It's a different respect
it's a
for it.
yes.
It's a different respect for it because you understand that it's the cycle of life.
It's
And
the
this is what I
cycle of
love about
life.
Lion King. You
Yeah.
ain't never gonna tell me anything bad about Lion King. Go find yourself somewhere else and talk crazy. But to me, I feel like the best story
Yeah.
about the circle of life is told through Lion King.
It is. It is so good.
It's betrayal, it's family, it's
It's full of
pride,
all
it's
the
love, it's
pain.
everything.
Absolutely.
It's how you bounce back. It's running away.
That's the
It's
part.
coming back. It's
That's the
support
part.
system. It's
Yeah.
love. It's everything that literally. Ooh, I feel God on that. Everything that goes through,
Yes.
like the Lion King, that whole story about a father and pouring into his son and telling him things and why he was trying to protect him and all of this different stuff and pride and arrogance and pride goes before a fall, a horse before the all of these different things. You see all of that play out
Mm-hmm.
in what's called the circle of life. Right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
coming back and the rebirth and how, and that's what I love about it, because even in loss and in death, you can still be reborn.
Period.
Like something can come out of it. And
Something
so
comes
like
out
even
of it. Life comes out of it.
and
Life
so
comes out of it.
we call it growth. See, what we don't understand is The old version of us that we don't grieve, we call it growth. And we
Yeah.
should be growing. Oh, you changed. You changed. I have. And I'm glad that you
Yeah.
recognize that I've changed.
Yeah.
Well, you know why it's called growth. And if
Yeah.
you're not growing, I'm wondering what you're doing in your life that you're not growing, because why do you have the same mindset at 40 that you
Right.
had at
That you
20?
had at 20. That sounds like a little
Friend,
retardation to me. I don't know.
friend.
Yeah,
Like,
you.
what's going on? Right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, that's not
Yeah.
healthy. And so
Hmm.
I believe that we call it growth. And that's a good thing because that's a positive spin on it. But on the other hand, we're not addressing the issue. The other issue is, what have you done to address that part of you that what funeral have you performed
Yeah.
for that version of you that you don't want to come back, that
That
you've
you didn't really
outgrown,
want to
that
let go.
don't have no business coming back because you're a
Yes.
different person. I'm not the same person at nearly 50 that I was when I was 20.
Exactly.
And I'm glad that I'm not. Like, people be like, "Oh, you're not the same." But like, when I encounter people from college, they're like, "Oh, I remember you from 30 years ago." I'm glad, but I'm
Yeah.
not her.
I'm like, good girl, but she was buried a minute ago. Okay.
Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you want the person from 30 years ago. The person from
Yeah.
30 years ago, go.
Yeah. No.
She been gone.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want to know you now, but you still refer to stuff from 30 years ago. So are you really trying to
Right.
get to know me now? Or are you trying to fit that old version of me that you remember
Yeah.
with who you think you I am? I don't know, but you got to abandon that.
Yeah. You
And
got to let
so,
that
because
go.
she ain't coming
She's
back,
not coming
we
back.
ain't resurrecting
This
that.
ain't this is not a Lazarus moment.
No,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
that ain't what we bringing back. That's not like a cake recipe that I got buried somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That can rev up. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I'm gonna rev up this recipe for this
Yeah.
old banana nut bread that grandma had. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the
Exactly.
same. And I
Hmm.
think that that's part of the conversation, the greater conversation of, when we grow. Okay, but it's great to grow, but what did we do? Because there is going to be a point where you miss that old you.
Right.
And instead of just saying, "Oh, just dismissing it," no, I think that
I
what
think I
you're
need to
saying
grieve
about,
it.
you
Yeah.
got to sit in those feelings and grieve
Sit
it,
in it.
and
Yes.
ask
Yes.
yourself key questions like, what about that old version do I miss? Like,
Right.
work through it.
Hmm.
What do I miss about that, and why do
Yeah.
I miss it? Why now? What triggered me in this moment
That
to
made me
go
go
back
back
to that?
there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
made me think about that. That made me miss that part of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is void? Because there's a void in my life right now, that old me that speaks to that old me.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, but what's around the corner in the future though? That's
Yeah.
meant to fill that void, and you're just in that space, that in between space where you're still traveling to get to that connection, and for
Yeah.
that void to be filled. What is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how you work through that grief. That's how you
Exactly.
work through that loss. That's something, by asking questions. And if you can't do that, like, you get you a coach. That's why you get you a coach, or you go through
Absolutely.
therapy if
Grief
necessary, if that's the
counseling or
route, grief
therapy. Yes.
counseling or
Yes.
whatever. But
Hmm.
you need to talk it through with someone to help you realize that something transpired to
Yeah.
trigger you to miss that old you.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
there's also a reason why you grew past or beyond that old you, because you recognize that old you was not sustainable
No,
for
not
where you are
for
or where you're going.
not for forward progress. No. Yeah. Yeah.
You
You know,
know?
I think we're gonna have to, one of the key things in talking it out is learning how to reconceptualize loss,
Yeah.
because we don't really, I think and I'm saying that thinking about a particular client, that this client had gone through a lot in one day, literally. So when we
Wow.
get to our session, they're just like, I don't know why I'm out of breath. I don't know why I feel like I'm about to just have a panic attack. And I'm like, okay, let's breathe. Do you want to reschedule? No. Okay, breathe, calm down. Tell me what has gone on. Give me a rundown of your day. And
Right.
there were so many losses in one day that this client had not seen as loss. The
Wow.
client just going through like, and just
Like
rambling
normal.
through. Yeah, like this. I did and this and that. And I'm thinking, okay, that's one loss. Okay. All right. I said, ma'am, I said, this about 5 losses today.
Yeah.
And she was looking at me like, losses. And so helping her to reconceptualize what loss really is,
Yeah.
that is the awareness that a lot of us as Black women need, because our how we conceptualize loss is death.
Yeah.
We don't conceptualize it as, even a loss of time. You know what I'm saying?
Because redeem my time.
You give me back. I redeem my time. You understand what I'm saying? And that is something that I'm realizing in our culture, because
Yeah.
I coach various cultures, and it's
Yeah.
so interesting to see how different cultures grieve. Now, my Haitian clients, honey, they have a whole time span for grieving, right? And
Yeah.
so they go in, and it's almost like I have to try to pull them into the present,
Yeah.
because they will mourn. They call it mourning.
Morning.
They will
Yeah.
mourn for days, but then
Yeah.
they cut it off and okay, time is up. And they'll come to me because they're still grieving and feel like it should be over by now. What's wrong with me? Why am I?
Because it's a cultural it's a
Because of,
cultural tradition
so you
now.
see how
But I
every,
think that even in that, no one still tells you what to do. That's just
yeah,
that's just, to me, and I'm not diminishing it. It's like a checklist of what I'm supposed to do. But even if I do that, but what am I? What? But how do I unpack what I'm? Because you're talking about a lifetime with somebody, right?
yeah, yeah.
Like, how do I unpack this pain,
Mm,
this loss, like the emptiness? Because now it's for me, I believe it's the absence that we miss the most. So how do we have conversation around okay, not just of this person, but what the absence of my relationship, the absence of my finances, the absence
mm-hmm.
of if I lose a breast, the absence of my hair. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes,
The absence
yes.
of my mind because I'm not in my right mind and this is going on. And It's the absence of sanity, right? It is the absence that we mourn or that we should or need to be mourning, but no one is actually having conversation about how to do that and what that actually looks like because it's not a one size fits all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I
No,
think it
it
is
can't be.
having
Yeah.
conversation about, well, what does that mean to you? What does that look like
Mm-hmm.
to you?
Mm-hmm.